Now this time, we will discuss what we call midpoint formula. So when we say midpoint, it is the point that's halfway between two given points on a coordinate plane. So let's say we have point 1 here and point 2 here. Let's say this is um, 0, 0, and this is 7, 0. Okay. Now we disregard the y component since it is horizontal. Okay, and we will focus on 0 and 7. Now, how do you find the value of the midpoint here? So same concept as the average. We will add up the two given x component and divide it by 2 since there are two terms. Okay, so if this is 7, that is 7 plus 0 over 2, and 7 over 2 is 3.5, meaning the midpoint of 0 and 7 is 3.5. And that is logical since a half of 7 is 3.5. So that is the concept behind the midpoint formula. But what if we have 2 points or two components, which is x and y? Now we use the midpoint formula, which is x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2, same concept as before, then y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. So how do we apply it? So let's say we have a 2 points here. Point A, which is 2 and 4, and point B, which is 6 and 8. Okay, but we need to find the midpoint here. So how do you find it? What is the, let's call the midpoint as C. Okay, so how do you find the midpoint C using 2 points? Now using midpoint formula, okay, so m is equal to x sub 1 and plus x sub 2 over 2, and y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. Okay, our x sub 1 is 2. Okay, plus x sub 2, which is here 6 over 2. Now our y sub 1 is 4 plus our y sub 2 corresponding to 4, that is 8 over 2. Don't forget that. Now 2 plus 6 is 8. Right? Then divided by 2, that is 4. 4 plus 2, 4 plus 8 is 12. Divided by 2, that is 6. Therefore, the midpoint of point A and point B is 4 and 6. Now, let's go through a more complex example. Now, for example, we have, okay, let's erase it. Now, for example, we have 2 points here, C and D. Point C has negative 3x and y sub 1, while D has x sub 2 and negative 1. And their midpoint, which is here, is 1 and 3. So what is the value of y sub 1 and x sub 2, given that our midpoint is 1 and 3? So first we will write our given or the formula. Oh yeah, this time we will insert our midpoint as 1 and 3, and we'll input x sub 1 as negative 3 here, plus x sub 2, which is unknown, over 2. Y sub 1